Welcome to Your Reality is a Lie, and everything you know is based on lies podcast.
You're a bitter man, said Candide. That's because I've lived, said Martin. But for what purpose was the earth made? Asked Candide. To drive us mad, said Martin. Candide ends the book with, let us go and cultivate our gardens. Life, by a lot of people's standards, is suffering. There's so much suffering in the world.
Have these feelings no matter what's going on in your life. Babies cry, but do they have any real problems? Probably not. They're probably just upset because they're alive and because they don't have milk. But you'll always be searching for milk. You'll always be looking for that. You'll always be crying for some milk like a baby, unless you decide, oh shit, I'm not a baby, I'm a grown man. I need to stop looking for milk and just be happy that I'm not, like one of those people who doesn't have any arms and legs.
And even with those people with arms and legs that are missing, I feel like those people are sometimes the most grateful people that suffer the least because they understand what true suffering is. Find your garden and to find something that you can cultivate and bring and grow in your own life, and you can watch these fruits of your labor, grow in life.
People's biggest problems are themselves, where they the biggest person that's doubting you is yourself.
Yeah.
You are the one that are going to be doing most of the doubting of yourself. Most of the suffering you'll experience. Seneca actually said that most of the suffering you experience will be in your imagination rather than in reality. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I think that Kanye West is definitely a very good example of someone that has cultivated their garden, and he knows that he values a lot of his value is his artistic career and his artistic creation.
Do you think that Kanye West and Candide are actually talking about, like, this metaphor of the garden is actually a metaphor about your mind? You need to cultivate your garden.
That's nice.
Fill it up. Fill that picture up. Like you need to fill your mind up, like Candide.
Yeah.
So.
What if your mind was a company? You need to focus on the things that make you happy, because that's going to be the things that distinguish you from everyone else. And, those are the things that are going to be the most valuable things, are the things that you do best.
Question: has the state of Israel made contact with aliens? Well, according to retired Israeli General Professor Chaim Eshed, the answer is yes. Eshed served as the head of Israel's space security program for nearly 30 years, and he says that Israel and the U.S. have both been dealing with aliens for years. Now, to clarify, this by no means refers to immigrants. Eshed is clarifying the existence of a so-called galactic federation, and the 87-year-old former space security chief told Israel's Ynet News that lots of agreements have been made between the aliens and the U.S. to try and research and understand the fabric of the universe. Well, apparently this has all been kept a secret because humanity isn't ready. And if true, it would coincide with U.S. President Donald Trump's creation of the Space Force as a fifth branch of the U.S. Armed Forces. Apparently, Trump knows about the aliens, too. Well, we have our correspondent Ariel Levin-Waldman joining us to...
So that's crazy as fuck. So let's talk about
How
aliens.
much money did they put into Space Force?
So it says right here that in 2023, Biden has approved $24.5 billion to go into the Space Force budget. What are they paying for? What's $24.5 billion going to in space?
They're paying for me.
I swear to God. Because it's like, this dude, right now, this Israeli, like, space commander, this Israeli, like, space intelligence officer, he's like a general that retired after 30 years, has said on the record that Israel, America, Trump, they've been talking to the aliens. It's a fact now. Pentagon, they've released data, they've released the footage. They have a whole task force. It's the UAP, it's the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Group. They have a whole program now that's dedicated to like investigate the closest planets away that are even like close to being like an exo-Earth kind of thing where it's like habitable Earth situation. It's like 1,000 light years away. That's like just off the top of the head, but I think it's like something like that.
It's probably far as fuck.
1,000 light years away.
It's
so
far
if
as
you
fuck.
were going the speed of light, that's 1,000 years.
They have videos, bro, of the pilot. Color. That color's 10 out of 10. Anyway, let's just bring us back down to Earth real quick and talk about how there's billions of dollars going into Space Force. They love aliens. They're having sex with aliens. They're breeding the aliens. Everybody's talking about, oh, Johnny Depp, the fucking Pirate Caribbean 4. No, aliens are real, bro. For real, dude. I'm trying to tell y'all for a while, dude. Is the universe and life an infinite battle between good and evil, like it's represented in the Bible, or are humans slowly reaching a utopian bliss? I'm trying to figure that out because
No, because that goes to the what we were talking about. Do aliens have daddy issues too? Do aliens suffer too? Do they tend to their gardens? Are we their gardens? Are fourth dimensional beings having gardens, and that's just our whole universe? What if there was like this universe with these little creatures on it, tripping about suffering?
But do you think he would be conscious of it, or do you think the alien would just be unconscious of it? Because it's like we're not conscious of the neurons firing in our brain.
Yeah, it would be completely unconscious.
There are only humans describing the universe. There are only humans describing things. And so everything that you base reality on is really just a human construct, which is made by apes. And yes, we're relatively advanced compared to our fucking orangutan brothers. But what does that mean? I think it means nothing. I don't think that we're very, like, advanced. We still fucking, like, think about, like, energy. You know, why is it that there's energy problems? Why is it that... Why do we have to, like, plug lamps into the walls?
Humans do. Everything that will ever be done by a human will be done.
Orangutans, I'm pretty sure, or maybe gorillas, I'm not sure, but they've started using sticks to stick inside of the anthills to pull them out. They've started using tools. They're tool-wielding creatures. Okay? They can do what they can. And so when some humans say, oh, you know, mining oil and using oil for energy is unnatural. We're getting these fucking we're getting these basically decayed dinosaur remnants and using it to drive a little fucking Toyota down the street. It's strange and it's complex, but I think if we take away the idea of unnatural, we can really kind of advance. And I would like to also connect that to another idea that, like, some people saying, like, oh, gay people are doing gay stuff is unnatural. Doing, practicing, you know, veganism is unnatural. No, it's not natural. Anything a human can do is natural. You can't do shit that's unnatural. Because if it wasn't natural, you couldn't fucking do it. You know?
Exactly. So basically, anything you can possibly do is a natural part of what humans are.
Yeah.
We've been to space. We've been to the moon. We've done crazy things as humans. But what does that have to do with, like, being an unnatural, like, part of the environment? We're still humans. It doesn't mean that, like, because we have done an action, that makes us, like, you know, disassociated with our environment, or, like, disassociated with who we are as humans. You can only be yourself. You can't, like, not be a human. So everything you do is natural. So you need to take that into consideration, because everything is natural. You can't, anything you could possibly ever do is human.
You know, one time somebody told me this story about how they'd been, they started to give their dogs CBD gummies because it has anxiety. The dog has anxiety, and so let's prescribe it some CBD so it chills the fuck out. My perception, my first thought was that, hey, that's unnatural, because all dogs inherently are relatively anxious creatures. They're on alert, they're on stress, they're looking about, they're guarding, you know, this is what dogs do. But then the afterthought is that, you know, whatever we do is natural, you know? And I was like, hey, the first thought was, hey, why are you giving your dog CBD gummies? You know, it's probably just a fucking dog. But, like, maybe they're just doing what they want to do, having a good time.
And I would like to make a distinction at this moment in time, because I think there's a distinction between, you know, natural
and unhealthy.
And unhealthy. Moral responsibility.
Yeah. Look into King Leopold and what this person has done and how they've affected, how this person has affected people. This was a king from Belgium that created an association originally, which was a lie, to help the African people. And this person sent a whole bunch of people to Africa and basically the Congo, and killed millions of people. And there's photos of it, there's documents of it, and it's horrible what this person has done.
Yeah.
Literally millions of people in the Congo, and has fucked up the Congo and has fucked up Africa. And how do we decide, and what is the best way to decide what the answers are to these questions? That's what we want. That's our main goal in this podcast, is we want to provide you with the idea that the most important thing is not the answer to the question. It's about formulating the question and thinking about what's the best way to go about a problem to create a solution. Thank you for watching. Try and be unbiased. You know, it's hard to think about, but try and separate yourself from your opinions and your beliefs to maybe wonder what else is true, what else is out there, what have I been biased to, how can I improve and become a greater intellectual in the universe, and how can I become the best version of myself, and how can I...
And make sure that you're doing you. Remember, you're the individual in this thing, whatever it is. You're you.
I want you guys to not only subscribe to our channel, but I want you to subscribe to the channel 41N155 on YouTube. They got great Lithuanian music.
We'll see you next time.